Welcome back, guys. Strong as a Zero here, and today we're playing more Student Transfer. It is part 13, I believe. So, wait, no. I actually don't remember what part is this. It is this, but anyway, let's continue the CASSIE route. So we gotta click on load, and then choose this one. Welcome to the right residence, John. Yeah, okay. I didn't answer at first. The size and elegance of the entrance hall had captivated all of my attention. It had been designed to cause such impression on first-time visitor. Oh, so if you guys don't know what's going on here, you guys need to go and watch like the last two parts so you guys can understand what actually happened here. The carpeted main stairs lead to a mezzanine held up by a set of solid-looking pillars. Many paintings were hung on the walls, with a handful of decor- decorative tables placed underneath them on each side of the room. Ooh, Cassie's mansion looks like so pretty fancy there. Holy cow! I feel like I'm in a modern Upton Chapel. What? Sorry, guys. I don't know what's that word. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm so sorry. To my surprise, Elizabeth giggled after my silly comparison. This is probably the closest to it we have on this end of the globe. It's not the same, but it has its charm. Definitely does have its charm there. I can see the charms. She then looked at me from head to toe with a concerned face before continuing with her speech. Hmm, I'm still unsure whether to deal with you like I would normally treat Cassie, or pretend you're just another guest. Well, technically John is Cassie, so probably treat him like a Cassie. Well, I'm sure it'll be easier for you if you just pretend I'm Cassie, right? Yeah, good point. You're still John to my eyes, but Casey's to others. So it help. So it's all depend on who watches us, I believe. Is that it? Is that so? Sounds fair, as long as I get the same treats both ways. Ooh, you wish was what I read in Elizabeth's face after telling me half joking, half serious answer. In any case, make yourself at home, John. Casey's parents won't be here until very late in the night, so we don't have to worry about that. Cool. So we don't have to pretend to be Cassie in front of her parents. Good to know. Thanks, Elizabeth. You're welcome, John. I could just still sense some bits of tension between us, so I took the chance to ease the mood. Oh, but this is my home now. I'm Cassie after all, right? And I should do as I please. John? What are you thinking, John? Just for your information, Casey gave me explicit instruction to lock you in the dungeon if you mess around too much. What dungeon? What? Wait. Yeah, did she seriously say dungeon? It must be some kind of high society slang. The maid's face now matched the seriousness of her voice tone, making me realize my attempt at sounding slightly funny had failed. That wouldn't be necessary. Don't worry, enough jokes for the day. Hmm, considering how your last attempt at a joke went for everyone involved, for the best. Oh, and before I forget, Elizabeth swiftly pulled out my cell phone from one of her front pockets and placed it in my hand. Wait, so is that Johnson's phone or Cassie's phone? Ah, thanks. I was just about to ask for it. Apparently, you've been receiving texts non-stop since we left your house, so you might want to check them out. Really? Did you see who was texting me? Probably Cassie. Not at all. Violating other people's privacy goes against my morals. Oh, cool, cool. However, she took a couple of steps back with a glance of worry on her face. I believe I know who it might be, judging by how short the time between messages is and by who can possibly want to contact you right now. Ah, Cassie. Yep. Oh, I received another text messages as we spoke, and Elizabeth smiled after hearing the phone's bell. There's probably a good reason for why she's texting you instead of me, and she won't stop until you answer her. So you'll probably want to give it a look. Jeez, Cassie, it's been less than 30 minutes. I thought you would have lasted longer without looking for aid. Got it. I'll check them out now. Excellent. I'll start making dinner now. It will be ready in a while. Until then, I suggest you don't do anything strange or questionable to entertain yourself. Note, I'll behave like an authentic high society maiden. Ooh. She smiled softly after me before turning around and walking off to the east side of the mansion. Oh, Elizabeth, one last thing. Yes, John? What is it? What did you mean with dungeon? Just a few moments ago. It was a joke, right? Okay. No. She was being serious, right? She was being serious. And with that, she disappeared after crossing a pair of large wooden doors. Alright. I'd better not fuck up then. Once I was left alone in the grand hall, I unlocked my phone and started checking those unread messages. Okay, let's see. Cassie, Wi-Fi pass. Also, lame background your PC has. Change it to a cooler one. What? Any fashion magazines in the house? Can I borrow some from Hollies? What the heck, Cassie? But I'm stuck. Don't ignore me. She apparently runs out of patience more easily than I thought. Okay, John, why are you ignoring Cassie? She literally just said don't ignore me. The wall of text continued for the incredible amount of 20-something more messages until I finally reached the bottom. I'm painting your nails if you keep ignoring me. Oh, do it, Cassie, do it. Oh, hell no. What the heck is that? CLMDTRNCSSRKE? Question mark? I'm always stuck when reading messages. Ah, right. I gotta practice a bit more before trying to type any faster. What? Oh, Cassie's hand. Calm down, Cassie. Okay. Oh. One thing I hadn't realized until now was that while I normally was a fast typer, that only applied to my hands. Yeah, I don't think Cassie's hand typed that fast, man, so didn't even try. Hard to type with your nails. Got them done yesterday. Be careful. Just, I don't know, play with my console, watch TV. How do I even turn it on? Also, you all share one bathroom. Yeah. I thought you had more, like one each. Well, not everyone rich like you, Cassie. How can you all live like that? WTF? Every time I rapidly touch the screen to type, the noise my new nails against this glass gave me the awful impression it would shatter at any moment. Yeah, be careful with Cassie's nails. What image does she have of normal people's home? Oh, never mind. Sandra made dinner. Talk to you later. And don't leave me on scene again. I'm starting to regret having given her my phone number. Once I had checked all of her texts and closed the chat, I noticed there was an extra text from Katrina I hadn't noticed before. What is that? Oh, what's this? Yeah. Hey, wanna come with me and the Andy group to karaoke bar? Kyoko will be there. Will be too. What? Okay. With Casey's voice, I would likely beat all of them, but I don't have much of choice here, do I? Son, sorry, have chores. While I slowly typed my answer, I couldn't help imagining what Katrina and the rest of the girls' reaction would be if I actually showed up like this. Don't do it. I can't help but imagine they probably overlooked the actual reason behind why I look like a girl if that meant having a girls' night out. When I tried to put away my phone, it took me a few failed attempts to actually look down and remember my earlier complaints about the lack of pockets on this dress. I would be carrying it around in my hand. Oh yeah, guess it doesn't have a pocket. Okay, what do I do now? I don't know. I mean, I'm alone in the body of a rich college girl, standing in her humongous mansion's foyer. I'm sure I can find something interesting to do. Ooh. That wouldn't get me locked up in Cassie's dungeon, even. I could entertain myself by taking a walk around this place. The hallways and rooms in Cassie's memories look as classy as this room after all. There's Elizabeth too, cooking dinner on her own. She must be used to doing it every day, but I guess I could lend her a hand after the goodwill she's been giving me, despite all of this mess being my fault. Oh, and now that I remember, there's the unnecessary stash of notes Cassie handed me with information about her and her life, which would be somewhat responsible on my end to at least give it a quick look. After some short deliberating, I made up my mind. Roam through the mansion, help Elizabeth with dinner, read Cassie's notes. Okay. What should I do here, guys? Let me think. Well, Cassie doesn't usually help Elizabeth. So since we're Cassie right now, we're gonna do what Cassie would do. We probably wouldn't roam through dimensions since Cassie already know dimension. Probably read some Cassie's notes, right? I mean, at least we can learn something about Cassie, I hope. So yeah, let's go. Casey's note. I guess I should give Casey's note a read, even if most of it consists of not so relevant information for the time being. Well, on my way to where I believe was the kitchen, I passed through the opulent dining room, which looked unnecessarily overprepared to host supper for just two people. However, my attention was quickly drawn to one of the corners of the table white cloth, where a gleam of light was reflecting off the device's shiny surface. Oh, Elizabeth left it here, unattended. Cassie and I had trusted the safety of the device on to her maid, who her employer claimed was the most responsible being and in existence. Well, if she left it here, she must have had a good reason, I hope. I walked closer to the device to check on the battery indicator, with a vague hope it would somehow be charged again. But the same red tinted light from before was still there. Damn man, how long do we need to wait for this Elden remark? The spellbook they don't have to wait, right? Oh wait, actually we do have to wait with the spellbook too, since we have to use mana. Before I continued my way to where Elizabeth was, I noticed that a handful of notebook sheets were piled next to it, and upon closer inspection, I confirmed they were the notes I was looking for. Here they are. Cool. Now let's see. I pulled up the closest chair and firmly sat down to begin my reading. Oh wow, this is surprisingly comfortable. Just like the cab seat. I let my curiosity take over for a moment as I wondered whether the sources of this comfy sensation was the actual chair or an illusion caused by Cassie's soft and round bottom. I'll have to run more tests later, I think. Well, that's your body for now. You can do whatever you want, John. Like, Cassie wouldn't know anything, so just do it. Focusing back on the pieces of paper I had before my eyes, I started reading Cassie's delicate cursive written paragraphs. Cassandra Wright, 22 years old, future to be fashion designer. And it goes on and on. This was supposed to be some short and handy advice, not a CV. I'm very experienced in love but currently single, followed by a sad face and a broken heart drawing. Aw, Cassie! You get it, John. Right next to that, a small but highlighted arrow pointed at a text bubble that seems to be the continuation to that sentence. Never trust football players or basketball players or bartenders or chicken tamers. What the heck? Okay, so Cassie apparently had 4 ex-boyfriends, I think, or anyone Elizabeth say is a bad influence. Okay, 5, I guess. Well, I kinda imagine Cassie having a long record of past flings or ex-boyfriends, but I wasn't expecting her to be as broken-hearted as she seems in these notes. Holy shit, spider! Fuck. Dude, I'm gonna die. Shit! Oh my god. There's a spider. Shit. Sorry guys, there's a spider in my above my keyboard. Dude, the spider literally above my keyboard right now. What do I do? Shit. Please say it's gone. Please say it's gone. Oh, that was so scary. Sorry, I didn't read that. But most importantly, how on earth was this dating advice gonna help me to pass as Cassie? Yeah, how exactly are you gonna help us, Cassie? I sighed and went back to reading the wall of text. Loves pastries and sweets. Blackout cake is her favorite. Goes shopping at least once a week. Once a week. Once a week, huh? Pretty often shopping then, huh? Oh, what's this? Halfway through the first sheet, I stumbled upon a title that read Cassandra Wright 101 The Basics. What was everything before this just an introduction? Listen to Elizabeth and follow her rules. She knows more about myself than I do. What? How could that be? Yup, already doing that. What else? Don't eat greasy fast food, especially pizza and burgers. Gotta watch my figure. And don't try to convince Elizabeth to order any. How did she know? What? John, you were going to order pizza? But Elizabeth already making dinner for you. What? But wait, what's wrong with her? How can you dislike such a common and delicious food like pizza? I love my friend as much as my family. Holly and Elizabeth are my soul sisters. highlighted and with many hearts surrounding it. Oh. Apart from some surprise that made Cassie look less like a spoiled brat. Oh, sorry, like a spoiled, not spoiled brat. Sorry, I misread that. Self-centered, rich, a college girl. The rest of the notes were filled with either her views on all sorts of miscellaneous topics or an irrelevant anecdotes. You look like the most beautiful lady in town now, from a family with great renown and reputation. So if anyone sees you, act like it. Okay, so Cassie basically just claimed that she's the most beautiful lady in town. Cool. Wow. Nice self-proclaim there, baby. Huh? What's that even supposed to mean? Already bored due to the vast amount of text I had read, and without anything better to do, I stood up with the note in my hand and walked to the center of the room to begin with my rehearsal. I cleared my frail and tiny throat as I prepared to act out my interpretation of Cassie's last piece of instruction. So, act like it, huh? In that case, how about some practice? Bow before me and my castle, peasants, for I am Lady Cassandra Wright, the wealthiest maiden in all of San Francisco's realm. Oh ho 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 ho! I faced from one corner to another, mimicking Casey's mannered walk and coming up with the most ridiculous choice of words I could think of. What is that stench I smell? Unacceptable! I shall send you all to rot in the dungeons, where the sting is more bearable than yours. Except for you, John Davis, the bravest, most handsome knight a carefree, silly lady like me could ask for. Another self-proclaim. Another self-proclaim. I improvised my name in my last sentence, changing the tone of Cassie's voice into a more seductive one on purpose. However, I surprised myself by how embarrassing that actually was when I noticed how my cheek was blush not was my cheeks blushed right after hearing my own words. Oh, it's not how I imagine it. I kinda sound a bit silly. Anyways, in fact, I shall reward you with the duty of taking care of my place while I'm off to Commoner's Land. So I'll leave you this ridiculously long list of tasks and instruction you must follow while you're in this ravishing. So I'll leave you. Oh, what? Sorry. Voluptuous, nicely shaped, good-looking body. My attention momentarily drifted away from my marking section to focus on the body I inhabited. From the moment Cassie and I switched, I didn't have a single moment to fully explore this body on my own. John, before you explore Cassie's body, please go to your room or Cassie's room right now. Since Cassie's chest was pretty large, I had to slightly twist my hips if I wanted to see the rest of her figure. I still everything had happened so fast I didn't even stop to look at myself in the mirror. I still had to go through the unique experience of seeing a different face where my reflection should be. It's very likely I'll keep getting distracted until I satisfies my curiosity where's the nearest mirror? My eyes searched in all directions for a mirror hanging somewhere on the walls. But there weren't any inside. I thought For a moment where I should use the reflection the dining room's window provided, or maybe even the frame picture and the paintings, but it wouldn't be the same. True? Really, not a single place to look at myself around here. Where do these people keep them? You should easily find one if you take the hallway from where you came from. Wait, what? Elizabeth? Oh, cool. Thanks, Elizabeth? I quickly turned around in shock when I heard Elizabeth's reply behind my back. Almost losing balance in the process again. I was still unaccustomed to sudden movement in Casey's body. However, the shock of being caught red-handed was rapidly dispelled after finding the maid smiling back, sparking an uneasy sensation in me. How long have you been here? Just a couple of minutes. I was on my way to tell you that I'll be serving dinner soon. But when I was about to enter the dining room, I just had to stop by the door frame to admire your outstanding performance. Lady Cassie? I tried not to blush to being caught like that, but Elizabeth's giggling wasn't helping at all. My mouth spoke the quickest word my mind could string together in a desperate attempt to stop the embarrassment from properly sinking it. Well, since you've been my spectator, I demand some feedback. I have to admit you made me laugh regardless of how ridiculous it was. Oh, come on, it was funny, right? But truth is, I shouldn't. It's still my friend who you're mocking, and I would have stopped you if you had gone any further. Okay, fair enough. I had just finished reading Cassie's note and wanted to test my knowledge out. I seriously doubt Cassie described you as anything nearly resembling a loyal knight, or that she walks the way you wrongly assume she does. Nevertheless, you got one thing right out of your silly act. Really? Which is, she likes being called lady. As a matter of fact, and since you sounded so lively calling yourself that, I might do it as well. That was just part of the acting. Haha, don't even worry about it. John is more than okay. Oh, I'm aware. Oh, are you aware though? Are you? Now, take a seat, Lady Cassie. I'll bring dinner in a few minutes. Oh ho ho ho! Elizabeth turned around with a grin on her face and disappeared again into the kitchen after crossing the door frame. I guess I brought this upon myself. Let's just hope she doesn't take a liking to it. I didn't want to cause any more trouble, so I gently took a seat at the great dining room table and patiently waited for Elizabeth to bring supper. But the wait wasn't long though. I realized she had been precise with her words earlier when a few moments later she walked through the door frame with an exotic looking bowl in each hand. Oh, John, would you kindly move the device and the sheets of paper away? Of course. But, what's the device doing here? I thought you'd be taking care of it. I believe it's considerably safer here than in the kitchen while I'm cooking. Oh, fair. In any case, bon appetit! What the heck is that? She gracefully placed my dish in front of me and realigned the utensils I had been fiddling with my back to the original position. I looked at the fancy salads before me with a mixture of suspicion and hunger while Elizabeth sat opposite me. It looks like a gourmet Caesar salad, but with many different and contrasting colors. This looks appetizing, I think. What is it? It's one of Casey's favorite, a pan-seared tender crisp salmon fillet cucumber olives, tomatoes, feta cheese, and avocado salad drizzled with lemon herb dressing. Damn, that sounds like a lot of work. But I honestly wasn't expecting this kind of meal. Why bother in making this wondrous meal for me? A sandwich would have been more than fine. Well, I would have had to throw away some of the ingredients if I hadn't used them today. But most importantly, I always cook gourmet cuisine for Cassie. But since you're not actually her, I'll be asking you for your opinion. Okay, sounds fair to me, but I'll warn you beforehand that I'm not used to eating salads, so my review might not be too in-depth. I gather a good chunk of vegetable with my fork and stuff it into my mouth. But given that the size of Cassie's mouth was smaller than my own body, I got it stuffed with just my first nibble. I should have expected this. John, you might want to try smaller bites. I nodded back to her as I tasted the mix of vegetables, fish, and spice. To my amazement, the salad was so incredibly delicious. It left me at loss of words after I swallowed. Elizabeth, this thing is amazing. It's the kind of food you only get to try at top class restaurants. Elizabeth's mouth sketched up a feeble smile, which lit up her face. Would it be a decent match against Sandra's cooking? Before she had finished her sentence, I had already eaten 2 mouthfuls of that dish. I say you would have a good chance, yeah? Oh wait, does my opinion really count now even if I'm in her body? Having her tongue might make it BS. What? BS? What? I don't even know that word. Sorry guys. You have a good point. But that doesn't refrain me from taking it as a compliment though. As I kept devouring that exquisite meal, I noticed how calmly Elizabeth consumed her food, bite after bite in silence. She only raised her eyes when I was chewing too loudly, or to point out tiny table etiquette mistakes I was committing. When I was nearly done with my plate, I realized that even though I had spent the last hour and a half with Elizabeth, I knew very little about her, so I decided engaging in some small talk wouldn't do any harm. She doesn't look like it, but let's hope she doesn't share Cassie's mania to blow her own trumpet. Elizabeth? Yes, my lady? So you were being serious before. I was, but I'll make an exception during dinner. What's your story? My story. Yeah, how did you end up working here? How did you become friends with Cassie? She packed her mouth with a napkin a few times before answering. I come from Hatsukansas, a small rural town a couple hundred kilometers to the east of San Francisco. Oh, that's not San Francisco. Okay. Oh my god, that's so embarrassment. That's so embarrassing, guys. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. East of San Francisco. What the heck is that place? There wasn't much work output other than something related to farming, cattle breeding, or other agricultural activities. But I wasn't very fond of spending my days working as a slave to cows and country music. So I came to the city with the intention of finding more appealing occupation. Well, I'm not very familiar with rural work, but isn't being a maid as hard as that? It can get exhausting sometimes, but I can't complain at all. The right have been very kind to me. They supply me with comfortable commodities, and the wage is more than I had ever expected. And I get to spend most of my day with a friend, so there's that perk too. Right, you follow Cassie around all day long too. Is it hard? Is it as hard as I think it is to bear with her? Elizabeth let go a long sigh, followed by what resembled a sincere look. From the bottom of my heart, Cassie might have some flaw in her character and can get a bit dense sometimes. But I can assure you she's a kind and very likable person. I look at the maid in the eye with a skeptical expression. At least once you get to know her. Well, her notes might have slightly helped me get an idea of Casey's persona, or confuse me even more. I'm not sure. There was a lot of info right then there. She's pretty much enjoys talking about herself. I agree, but the conversation topic doesn't always revolve around her life. Most of the time. But okay, I'll take your word, she's cooler than she appeared to be. Elizabeth nodded softly and resumed eating her food. I did the same immediately after with my half-eaten salad. The rest of the evening elapsed in silence. I was amazed by how that relatively small portion was all it took to make me feel satisfied. I would usually go for another round, but I knew I wouldn't handle it with Casey's smaller stomach. Once we're done, I helped Elizabeth with cleaning up the table while she washed the dishes and utensils. Then we headed back to the stairs in the main hall. As for the device, she handed it to me and we both agreed that I would be the one responsible for it until the next day. Okay, so we possess the remote now. Okay, we're going upstairs to Cassie's room, I presume. I assume. When we reached the second floor, my attention started drifting from one place to another. The style and decoration of the hallways we walked were all exuding riches and history. There were moments where it was actually hard to tell if we were still in the mansion or in a museum of an 18th century palace. The number of door intersection and passage we had been through gave me the uneasy feeling that it wouldn't be hard getting lost in this place. By the look of your face, I assume you've never been to a mansion this big, have you? I've never been to a mansion at all. This is the biggest building I've been to, except for the school, maybe. I can tell. I wish I could know where. Wait, I know this place. The particular pattern on the furniture and decoration placing on the corridor had suddenly reminded me of Cassie's movement on the previous night. We're heading for Cassie's bedroom, right? Correct. It's relieving to see her memories are still intact within your mind. Now come on. It should be around this next corner. We went through the first door on our right after we turned in the hallway. As soon as I stepped in there, I was greeted by a great room that was easily twice the size of mine, warmed by the light radiated from the posh chandelier hanging on the ceiling. Even though I knew what to expect from Cassie's impression, it surely didn't have as many furnishing as I had originally thought. Apart from a queen-size bed, a wooden desk set, and a matching wardrobe and bookshelf, there was a pretty plenty room to place more sophisticated junk. Huh. Oh, is something wrong, John? Sorry. What did I just say? John? I just said John. Is something wrong, John? No, it's weird. I was expecting something different, more obs- obstentious. This isn't exactly what comes to my mind when I think of a high-class girls' room. If I said Casey's a girl with a simple test, I would certainly be lying. The reason is that she doesn't spend much time in here other than sleeping and studying. And where is the rest of her wardrobe or whatever her recreation stuff is? Her books or magazines? There's a room distinct for each item you've named. Hence your answer. Oh, wow. Are you serious? That's ridiculous. But it also makes sense. I was starting to wonder what the purpose of having such a crazy amount of room in this place. Elizabeth let out a short sigh as she walked towards the wardrobe. Now, for this part, if you would kindly come here for a minute. Why? I approached her while she started digging around for something in the top drawer. Wait a minute. Are we gonna see Cassie's naked? We'll get the rest of the routine done in a relatively short time. And with a bit of luck, I won't miss today's episode of The Bridesmaid's Secret. Is that actually a show? Someone go and Google that for me, please. Rest of our routine. What do you mean? Cassie takes extreme care of her body image and health, and someone else being in her body won't make an exception. Right, as she finished her words, she pulled a long pink nightgown out of the drawer and outstretched it with her arms. Now, put this on. You'll crumple her dress if you don't go to bed wearing this. I'll be watching to make sure you do it properly. What? I opened my eyes in surprise for how naturally Elizabeth worded her instruction. But that quickly triggered some of Cassie's transferred memories to resurface to my consciousness. I had thought of the sleeping in Cassie's body predicament multiple times throughout the evening, but I never encountered a good moment to bring out what I consider as a delicate matter. So you want me to strip naked and change into just the dress? You can. Must wear your undergarment under all circumstances, except for physiological needs, of course. I opened my arms and she tended the pajamas on top of them. However, I would suggest taking off your brassiere, otherwise it would make your sleep unnecessarily uncomfortable. Is this really necessary? Unless you provide me with a different but reasonable solution. I'm afraid so. I was already blushing by the primes of changing into Casey's nightwear, and the fact that Elizabeth would be watching didn't help at all. Fine, you win, I guess. I turned around and started taking off the long dress. Now, where do I even begin? Choosing to play it safe, I began with taking out my arm and shoulders from the long sleeve before I moved to the leather belt so I could loosen it up a bit. And with a quick motion, the silky piece of clothing slid its way to the floor. Then I proceeded to remove the white top that had been underneath it, which proved to be more challenging than expected due to the two great obstacles I had to sort to get it over my head. Oh! Once I did that, I looked down to confirm myself I had successfully left Cassie's body only wearing her matching underwear set. You're doing it fairly well for your first time undressing a lady, John. Hey, What makes you think I've never done it before? Wait. You've done it before? I noticed how Elizabeth was grinding as I turned back to her, which instantly made me wonder how ridiculous I must have looked. You're making some rookie mistake any experienced boy wouldn't commit. But that's fine, don't mind me. Crap, is it that obvious? That's because I'm the lady now. It gets trickier from this side. I held the gown before my eyes for a few moments, and observed with it intrigue before putting it on. I was no expert with clothes, but what I had in my hands wasn't some ordinary pajamas. The fabric and finishing were of noticeable high quality. Yep, this looks totally like something a rich girl would wear at night. Though I'm surprised it hasn't got Casey's name embroidered somewhere. And within a few seconds of struggling, I had successfully put the nightgown on. I turned I then turned around to hear Elizabeth's feedback. Ta-da! I wasn't expecting her expression to be concerned one. It looked like she was trying to find out what was out of the place with what I was wearing. Hmm. Turn around. Great, you're gonna tell me now that I don't know how to put on this thing. Eek! Perfect. You should feel less restrained now. An amusing sensation overtook me when what I was holding, my boobs tightly in place, vanished all of a sudden. Secondly later, the bracelets I had been wearing slide down my arms and torso to finally end up laying on the floor. Oh wow, this feels rather nice. The freedom that came from ending Casey's breast imprisonment turned to be an unforced satisfaction. Not only did I feel less restricted around the chest, but also it enabled me to notice how pleasant the feeling of the smooth fabric of the gown was against this body's skin. Why didn't anyone tell me about this earlier? Because having a particularly ample bosom bouncing with every step is not very pleasant sensation. Ah, good point. Before I took a braless test drive walk, Elizabeth went back to the wardrobe she had pulled the pajamas out from and took a wooden comb with some motif scarves into it. Now, would you kindly sit on the bed over there? We will be done for tonight after this. I have to comb Cassie's hair. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. Straightening your hair before going to sleep is very useful way to avoid unwanted tangling in the morning. Then why not just do it in the morning? Because this greatly shortens the time that it takes to unravel the bird's nest that is Casey's hair. And believe me when I tell you that those golden locks of hers demand some extensive care. I noticed Elizabeth's voice change into a slightly more serious tone. Then I recall having read something about it before dinner. Oh yeah, she mentioned how much she loved it in her notes, and how long it apparently takes to get it right. It was a responsible action from your part to go through them. Eh, I just thought I should learn a thing or two before the person I would be spending the night as. And you sure did, didn't you, Lady Cassie? I grunted in annoyance when she snickered under her breath. Sorry, that was probably my last teasing of the night. Shall we proceed? I sighed and gave in to the maid request. I faced the opposite direction and let Cassie's long hair fall down my back. Fine, do what you gotta do. What followed was a series of grunts and complaints every time my hair was being pulled backwards by the brush work. Fortunately, the pain of every pass gradually soothed over time. I honestly got bored pretty quickly, even with the small talk I was having with Elizabeth. In the meantime, I couldn't help but wonder how stressful it would be brushing my hair like this every day of my life and my and on my own. After some extensive minutes, Elizabeth ran her finger through the now straightened locks of blonde hair and finally gave her verdict. Wonderful! Is that all? I'm starting to feeling a bit. My words were interrupted by a long and girly yawn, which came out as if a sleepy puppy was howling. Tired. Almost. Now we only need you to. Oh no! Look at the time! What? What happened? The maid jumped out of the bed in shock all of a sudden. What happened? Yeah, what? What happened? An emergency! The bridesmaid secret is about to start! Oh, is that the soap opera you mentioned earlier? It's a beautiful craft love story between a young couple, indeed. I see. Although it does sound like a generic show, to be honest. Oh, but I promised Cassie I would keep an eye on you throughout the night. Oh, but this episode and she needs to make that final decision and they won't air it again until the next week. And Elizabeth, chill! If you're so desperate, go and watch it. I can take it from here. She looked at me with a worried expression on her face. I would be lying if I said I wasn't expecting a happy response to my offer. Can I trust you? Sure. I can handle whatever else is left to do. This whole pampering and assistance is getting kind of annoying for me. Elizabeth hesitated for a moment before finally making up her mind. Clean your teeth, watch the last trace of makeup off your face, and, well, advocate your bladder if you feel the need. But she still got amorous while addressing private, delicate matters wasn't really helping, but it was better than not referring to it at all. Piece of cake! Cassie's bathroom is the first door on the right, walking left from this very hallway. Got it. Go watch your show now. Don't hesitate in calling me if an emergency happens. I'll come back here once the episode has ended. Thanks, but I don't think I'll need to. I'm really tired, so it's very likely you'll find me asleep when you come back. In that case, I'll just do a quick checkup and leave you to rest until morning, alright? Got it. Go watch your bright secret TV thingy. The maid turned around with a smile on her face and disappeared through the door, leaving me on my own again. Finally, alone, dressed to sleep. I looked at Cassie's great bed, which after my yawning had developed an alluring effect on me. And exhausted, yeah? I jumped onto the bed and I instantly noticed how bouncy the matters and certain parts of his body were. Then I strengthened my arms and legs as far as I could. I wasn't able to reach any of the edges, proving that it was indeed comfortably ample. Man, if I had a bed this big at home, I'd definitely go to sleep on time every night. Of all things I've gone through so far, this has to be among the best. This and Elizabeth's delicious food. It would be pretty hypocritical of me if I were to complain about anything, but having her on my back most of the time was getting overwhelming. But maybe because I'm not used to having a maid that does most of the stuff for me, and having this pestering routine after dinner, I'm not sure if this is a rich people thing, a girls only thing, or a Cassie thing. Before I delved into my thought any deeper, I remembered Elizabeth's final request before she left. Dang, I'm so comfy here. Do I really have to do it? It's not like she can tell if I did it today or tomorrow. But she trusts that I'd do it in her absence, and I did tell her I would. I had to choose my course of action while looking at the ceiling, lying on the sheets of Cassie's cozy bed. Put it off, go to the bathroom. Which one should we do? I'm gonna go with put it off. But she trusted me, right? Yeah, we gotta go and brush Casey's teeth, I think. Or I do it. Elizabeth trusts John so much, but I would want. Fine. Let's go. Yeah, as much as I want to stay thinking into these matters, I have to keep my words. Yep, a man will keep their words, man. I groaned as I got up from the bed and made my way to the bathroom, which was pretty straightforward all. However, I almost walked past the door and distracted by the new swinging sensation the loose breast under this gown were causing me. The bathroom, despite not being larger than my home, didn't scheme on luxury on ornaments and decoration. Everything looked so shiny and clean, almost could eat from any surface there was. Naturally, I motioned towards the sink where a pink toothbrush lying on the top of it seems to be waiting for me. I guess this should be Cassie's since it's the only one. Oh! I gasped in surprise when I noticed Cassie's light blue eyes staring back at me from the mirror. Until then, I hadn't been able to look at my reflection since the initial swap took place. Then I proceed to carefully examine the feature of my borrowed face, the rosy cheeks, the matches lip color, the small and curved chin, the falling hair on the side that framed my face. Every detail of her face looked like it had been meticulously sculpted by a resistance masters. Oh boy, she already looked really nice from a distance, but upon closer inspection I can easily tell. She's beautiful! I took the brush and started cleaning up Casey's teeth, preceded by a quick facial wash. I then dried my face with the nearest towel before looking at the mirror again. That should be it. 5 seconds had passed following a comment before a sudden urge to pee appeared between my legs. Oh no! Well, almost. I nervously walked to the toilet and pondered how to approach the situation. Okay, John, just don't think too much. Sit there, relax, and let this body do the rest. When I awkwardly sat down on the clean throne, the rest of it flowed fairly easy, literally. Once the physiological need had been folded, I flushed the toilet and washed my hands before leaving the bathroom. Let's hope Cassie's blender is big enough that I won't have to do that again. What? Oh, another message. When I stepped back into the bedroom, the sound of my phone getting a text quickly drew my attention to the bed where I had left it. John, are you there? Come on, answer! You fell asleep already? Wake up, damn it! Just how thin is this girl's patience? Sorry, I was at the bathroom. Doing what? Brushing your teeth, washing your face, what Elizabeth told me. Was she with you? No? Then how can I be sure you really did that? Do it again and send me pics. I sighed in frustration, trying to quickly change the subject before she started bombarding me with more questions. What's up? Everything's alright? Not really. Oh no. Holly has been upset all evening. I tried hugging her, but she immediately pushed me off. What do I do? Normally, Holly would consider a random hug coming from her brother as something odd, strange at most, but nevertheless, her reaction to Cassie was not a good sign. Right, she's very upset, yeah? But refrain from doing anything else to her until tomorrow. Okay, but please fix it. I hate seeing my friend like this. And fix our bodies too. I miss everything. I miss my stuff too. All back to normal tomorrow morning. You better do it. My short conversation with Cassie reminded me of the event that had brought the both of us to our current states. An event I had been unconsciously emulting, probably in a way to ease my underlying sense of guilt. I know I caused all of this, but where do I even begin with swapping us back? Oh, sorry. Swapping us back is easy, but making up with Holly, I don't want to mess with her mind, but I still don't think explaining this whole mess to her would be the greatest solution either. I looked down to my phone again to find a new chain of text on the screen, a wall of text Cassie had rapidly spammed in a matter of seconds. Wait, what? Where? What the? Anyway, how are things there? Did you have dinner? Did you have salad or something else? It better not be pizza. How's Elizabeth? Did you follow all of her rules? Where are you now? My room? Guest room? As the text kept coming, I found myself overwhelmed by Cassie's texting speed, a skill she apparently still retained even with 4 fingers. Good lord, is this girl serious? Yes, to all feeling sleepy, talk to you tomorrow, sleep well. I resolved the wisest decision would be taking things out with her tomorrow. Talking things out with her. Morning so, I said goodbye to her and put the phone away. After I placed it next to the device on top of her nightstand, I heard the bell ring a few more times before it finally went silent. However, I took one last quick glance at the phone screen, checked how many texts I had received. There were dozens. Most of them seemed like random questions, which would have taken me a lot to answer. But thankfully, they didn't. Seems like something urgent, so I just left my phone there. Finally, some privacy. Yep. I placed the device and my phone on top of Casey's nightstand and laid back on the bed. However, it wasn't very long before a whirl of thought took over my head again. The girl's decision with Holly apparently hit her head very hard. They're going through an awful time because of me. How am I going to fix it? Should I tell Holly about this and let the remaining traces of sibling relationship between us shatter forever? But I'm still not sure on sharing the device with anyone else, even if it might particularly solve this. Do I pose as Cassie or Elizabeth and apologize to her? I have to bring up the delicate subject that is her secret. What is it anyway? Is it the reason she's been so distant this last while? Or is it something else? But at the same time, I can always make her forget with a simple click of the device. Messing with Cassie's and my memories had left a bad taste in my mouth, along with other unforeseen surprise, so I quickly discarded that last option. What to do? My guilt power thought growing stronger and more unpleasant with each second. Any traces of me being sleepy had seemingly vanished. I have to distract myself with something. She didn't seem like a boring person. What does Cassie do before bed? I dug within my knowledge of her and I resurfaced the part of transferred memories which I was interested in. After she found that better, she used her cell phone some more and... What? And did that before bed. Oh, that thing! Shit! I gulped as the image of Cassie playing with her intimated parts bounced in my mind along with the lively sensation that she had provoked onto herself. some very particular intense sensation. So intense, I noticed myself blushing by the simple act of recalling those erotic stories. It was similar to when I got them back in my room, but unlike that, I hadn't paid much attention to them as now. So Cassie's got a pretty interesting naughty side. What a fascinating discovery! Then I realized that the context in which those memories had been crafted pretty much resembled the situation I found myself into now. I was alone in her bedroom wearing her pajamas late at night. Are you gonna do it? And horny, what? I guess this is the moment I have been waiting for to get a better look at her body. John, are you actually gonna do it? Okay, if you take off any clothes, I'm gonna have to censor this though. I probably wouldn't have this privacy during the morning, and letting go of an opportunity like this would be a pity. I sat on the bed, sought a comfortable position to begin my exploration. I crossed my legs and faced the big bustle I had been carrying around all night. But then again, we did promise no weird or improper body exploration while being switched. And what if Elizabeth shows up unannounced? Although I'm sure a small pic won't do any harm. And that's what I did, or at least what I did during my first couple of boring minutes before giving in to temptation and using my hands to grip both of these breasts. What? Oh, wow. John, the squeezing turned out to be a game changer. Cassie's breasts were remarkably sensitive, especially around her nipples, which were growing harder by the minute. The feeling was so pleasant that I wouldn't mind fondling her boobs for another 10 or to 20 minutes, maybe an hour. Nevertheless, there was one other place I hadn't explored, a place I couldn't explore if I was in my own body, so I slid my hands down Cassie's warm tummy, passing down her hips until I eventually reached her crotch. What? Holy crap! Oh crap, dude, this is gonna be my thumbnail. Although I'm pretty sure everyone gonna report me for having a horny thumbnail, so I probably shouldn't. So strange. I'm gonna take another screenshot. I gently press my unexperienced fingers against it, still intrigued by what effects the channels I now possess would have caused within this body. Beep! Suddenly a shivering of pleasure dashed through my body when I slid my fingers between the labia, which were deep, dripping a warm liquid through the panty's fabric. The sensation was so delightful, I just had to pass my finger again and again to go faster and faster with each pass, while tensing nearly all of my muscle in each thrust. I opened my legs and slightly wider and snuggled my free arm between jiggling breasts. Ah, ah. I got myself more and more. Whoa, what is that? Hold on. What is? Oh, there's so many water. I don't even know. I don't even want to know what that is. I got myself more and more turned on as the soft moaning I was involuntarily making kept coming from my mouth. And every time I shut my eyes, it seems like I was surrounded only by waves of a growing, addicting pleasure. But that wasn't enough. Her memory pics pleasure were telling me that there was still a gold mine to be found between these legs, and the soaking wet underwear was restraining my access to it. And since this body was craving more, I proceeded to do the only thing that was left. Holy okay, it was censored. Thank you. Thank God that was censored. Uh, uh. Am I even allowed to show this on YouTube? Do I have to censor it even more? Oh my god, dude, I'm gonna get flipping reported for this. I'm gonna get reported for this. I brought my finger deep into my pussy, surrendering to the unyielding need to achieve the upcoming ecstasy. The pleasure was increasing so strongly, I could almost completely ignore the sweat that covered my body or how disheveled and messy I was making Cassie's nightwear. Almost there. Gotta. My fingers were starting to feel slightly tired, but I knew I had to keep going for just a little longer to reach climax. What the fuck? Nah, almost there. John, but suddenly my wild outlet masturbation session was interrupted by an unexpected knocking on the door. Crack! What? May I come in? Elizabeth. Elizabeth? Oh my god, John looks so fucking weird, you know. I took the fingers out of my pussy in a panic and covered my lower half as fast as I could. Crap, crap, crap. If she sees me like this, I'm dead. I'm coming, 1 sec. Oh, wow. I jumped straight out of bed in an attempt to buy some extra time, but since I hadn't considered my new dynamics for the landing, I ended up on the floor. What was that noise? Are you okay? I guess I wouldn't be coming. That the adrenaline surge made almost all traces of horniness vanish from one moment to another, nor coming. I barely managed to stand up again just as Elizabeth opened the door in a rush. What happened? Nothing. That stomp I heard from the door didn't sound like nothing. I tried my hardest to act normally by slowing down my breath and pretending to be calm. Thankfully, my concern was prevailing over suspicions on the main expression. Oh, that? Haha, I was just fell off the bed. But my temperance weakened when I laid my eyes upon the dangerous object that was threatening the integrity of my rash plan. Shit, Cassie's panties! I kicked them under the bed, disguising the movement by taking a small step forward. You fell off? Yeah, I'm not used to sleeping with Cassie's voluminous shape. I rolled on the bed several times looking for a good position to catch some sleep, but ultimately rolled too much. Haha, please buy it. Oh my god, she doesn't buy it. Elizabeth's look shifted to one of scorn as she stepped towards me, and I started succumbing to panic. Oh no, this is bad. I'm busted. Elizabeth gonna murder me. How do I explain it to her without sounding like a pervert? Would she believe me if I said mere curiosity? I don't think anyone would believe that. Oh, Mom, I hope we'll be able to reach a non-violent resolution. We're technically adult, after all, right? Oh, man, not Mom, sorry. Right? I was running out of options as she came closer and closer to me. Quick, what would be the best choice of words to save my ass from this? Let me... Harley! What? What the heck? Pardon? Nothing. Elizabeth grabbed my cloak and closed my eyes, expecting the worst possible outcome. But what followed was simply a gentle tugging on the side of the nightgown, and what felt like a couple of hands moving away some hair from my face. You look more like you had a fierce battle rather than what you're telling me. Look at your hair. Good heavens. I was very uncomfortable. As for the voluminous issue, Cassie likes to sleep on her side, while I prefer just lying on my back, and I would not recommend sleeping face down. That's the best advice I can lend you without going into details. So thanks, I suppose. Once she had finished some last touch up, she sighed and took a step back. Still, for a few seconds there, I thought I was utterly doomed. I should stop tempting fate in other people's body. Still, why did she come back so soon? Elizabeth, I thought you would be watching your show. Is it done already? I still am. It just went to Comericals. The insensitive producer had the nerve to cut it right before the decisive moment. So I came to check everything was in order and ease some uneven tension. Ah, I see. Feel free to go back to your bedroom or the living room or whatever room you were watching it in. The theater room, actually. The house has that. I mean, of course it have that. I should have seen this coming. Anyways, I shall depart and head back there. But before I leave, John, yes? I passed through Cassie's bathroom and saw that you were considered enough to do what I asked you to. Thank you. It's nothing. I don't usually do at home after all. What? It's nothing I don't usually do at home at all. I do how? Oh, it's nothing. I don't usually do that at home after all. Don't you mean I usually do that at home? What? Never mind, never mind. Do you also wash your makeup off at night? Except that. She drew a little smirk on her face as she walked to the door. Look, I've misjudged you. You are more trustworthy than you seem at first. I'm glad my hunch was right. Oh, wow, thanks, Elizabeth. Please make sure to find a solution to this predicament we're all tangled up in, even if it was you who caused it. Don't worry, I will. I'm a gentleman after all. A gentleman or a lady. Oh ho ho ho. Why on earth did I think doing that was a good idea to kill some time? I didn't know what time it was exactly, but I did know it was late that I'm really tired. The playtime with Cassie's part not only had been more than I ever expected doing, but it had left me exhausted as well. Plus, having to deal with the stress of and anxiety of getting caught by Elizabeth's surprise check-in. It had been a very tumultuous night indeed, but it apparently was over now. Well, time to hit the sack and try some actual sleeping this time. Oh, I turned off the light and snuggled into Cassie's silky sheets. I followed Elizabeth's advice and laid my body on the side with the true intention of seeking a comfy position to sleep. She was right. This does feel good. I closed my weary eyes thinking about the series of events that led me to this moment, wondering if there was something destiny or karma thing behind my chain of mostly unwise decision. Or maybe it had something to do with the horoscope, as Cassie would probably insist on. Oh, is it the end? The last thing that crossed my mind before falling asleep was the image of the device recharging on Cassie's night table. Okay, day 5. Brotherly love. Okay guys, and that would be it for this video. If you guys enjoy, please smash that like button. And if you guys want to see the next part, can I get like 5 likes? And if you guys if you guys don't want to miss any video, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.